Hi there, and welcome to this week's feedback session. So this week we were looking at construction drawing and trying to get the hang of drawing these simple shapes. So I put the link up there, and if you want to watch any of those videos, I did a talk about some of the exercises. I mentioned draw a box, which is where this particular exercise is inspired from. And we talked about drawing spheres and ellipses and all those sorts of things. I then gave a demonstration where I sort of showed you how you could practice these skills. So you can start by drawing books and then take on more cylindrical forms. And then I said a little bit about taking on more complex subjects and breaking them down into simple forms. So this is going to come in really useful next week when we start to talk about tone. So construction drawing helps you to think of forms in a sort of three-dimensional way, and then form helps reinforce that idea. So if you can understand the form, you can usually understand the tonal values as well. So they sort of all work together. So what I'm going to do is go through some of the homework that's been handed in. Again, a great selection of work. So I'm just going to pick out a few bits and pieces to make a few points, and hopefully you'll find some of that useful. Okay, so we're starting here with Richard. Richard's had a go, and I really like this as a page. So as I say, in the draw a box exercises, there was a suggestion that you do about 100 of these, and then you would really start to build up your confidence. These look good to me already. The only thing I will show you though, it is quite useful every now and again to do this exercise. It's just to try and check your own work really. So let's just check one of these boxes and see what it looks like. So if we take this one, just draw some straight lines like that. So that looks good. They're sort of heading towards the same point. They're converging lines, and that's what we were after. Yep, so they all converge. Now, as you can see, by doing that, we can reveal a problem, which is that these two lines are going to converge more quickly than these two lines at the top, okay? So there is obviously something has gone slightly wrong there. So that could do with correcting. So it might just be something as simple as this one needs to come up a bit more, you see? So yeah, just going through every now and again and looking and making these corrections, maybe with a ruler, would just really help it all to go in. Anyway, this is a great page by Richard. With some of you though, I still think you're perhaps, if the dial is in one direction, you're probably leaning towards quality, i.e. making really nice drawings over quantity. So don't be afraid to send me loads in, you know. I'd rather see, you know, pages of these done in a sort of loose, maybe slightly scribbly way than to, you know, just send in one or two that look like you've sort of really been labouring over them. So as I say, it's a bit of a balancing act, but remember what I said, focus on quantity over quality at the beginning. Okay, and so here we've got Debbie, she's handed in a few, and so I just wanted to show this because I like the fact that she is, she's got a ruler out and she's actually identified some of the errors, okay? And that's, you know, that's one of the things, as I say, makes this exercise really useful. So she's made a few corrections there, and that's all you can do at the beginning, is just you'll see mistakes and then you can just make corrections. So we can just see another one here. Okay, this line and this line are diverging. Okay, they're getting further away. So it's almost like you're just trying to train yourself in this act of getting these lines to converge. So again, they're a bit too parallel. So as I say, the more you do, the more naturally it will come. And Clazine sent in this really nice page. So after we did the draw a box exercises, we talked about drawing straight lines. These looks, it's a slightly tentative line. So again, Claudine, I would just suggest using your whole arm and just practice these large sweeping motions. Maybe work on a bigger piece of paper and just fill up a few pages with this sort of large sweeping line. Yeah, so just keep practicing. That's what I would suggest there. So anyway, we can see some ellipses and some spheres. So this is very nice down here. And again, it looks incredibly straightforward, but you know, within this, there's a sense of starting to visualize the form. To get a sense of it as an actual three-dimensional mass. And so I like that. That's really a nice little drawing there. So yeah, and this is, again, sort of thing you'd want to fill up a few sketchbooks, or well, a good few pages at least anyway, but they're the sort of things that you could practice without too much setting up. Stewart, again, I like to show Stewart's one because of the use of the toned paper. Again, I can see how he's used a ruler to make his corrections, okay? So that all looks pretty good to me. And yeah, he's done the corrections, and that's the main thing. It's like in exams, they say, show your workings. So that's the sort of thing we're after. So this is Sarah's. So we're just going to check some of these, and let's have a go. One. But that all looks quite plausible, doesn't it, I think? So, yeah, like that. Well done, Sarah. And again, nice drawing. And Lois sent these in. So we can see straight away here, Lois, there is a bit of an issue with this one. Just that line is going up like that. This line is going up like that. Okay, so those lines aren't ever going to meet, unfortunately, so they're diverging. So, but you've got the ruler out, you've made some corrections, and that's the main thing. So yeah, keep going, keep doing these exercises. I say they'll pay off. They'll pay off more in terms of doing them, you know, regularly and often than doing them once and then moving on to something else. So, you know, try to have them as part of your practice sort of schedule. Allison, again, very nice study of books there, and a very sort of convincing sense of them sort of sitting flat, one on top of the other. Also, a notice there, just going back to some of our other classes, a nice variation of line weight. So that's something I said can help your drawings have a bit of a better look, and a bit of rubbing out there where she has made some corrections. So very nice drawing there. I included this one because I really like the fact that she took on one where the books were stacked higher than eye level. And so extra points for that, because it's easy to set them up on a table where you're looking down. This is a great sort of challenge though, this exercise. This line here, going off in that direction. That line there though, if we were to carry that one, they started to diverge. So that's just where that one has gone slightly awry. Okay, but other than that, they look great, I think. And there is when you get this right, there's a strong feeling of us looking up at the objects. And actually, it's quite nice, still life and those sorts of subjects. Actually, when you look up at objects, it tends to make them look more dramatic. And maybe you can see that in this. It gives you this, when you look up at things, it actually creates almost like a sort of an impact. So very good. Sarah sent this in. So that was the drawing the books exercises and some of the warm-up exercises. So this was ellipses, and also we talked about sort of using construction to draw more simple objects. Okay, so taking on the ellipse, very nice ellipse there. I like the sketching it out, keeping it symmetrical. There's a real sense of concentration and focus in this drawing, so I think that's really nice, Sarah. Yeah, very good. And this is really going to, you know, combine this level of attention with the tonal values that we'll do next week, and you should be producing some excellent work. And she did this, which was same object but with some of the details added in. Again, I really like that. It's just, you know, it's you can see how these lines function as wrapping lines, so they help to reinforce the form. And actually there's a really nice challenge there of the way this face, it actually folds around that box. So that's a good drawing challenge actually, is to draw a pattern or an image on a sort of distorted shape. So very good. So I included this one because I think it was maybe one of the only ones, apologies if not, of a outside view. And again, this is construction and perspective and all those things. They come in as much use with these sorts of subjects as with anything else. So I think I might have spotted one little thing that could be just to be aware of. So these lines all point up. So that tells us that we're looking down on this roof. Okay, so we've got this line here. Okay, we've got this line here. We've got this line here. So that tells us actually they would converge about here, about there. So that would be our eye level. However, this line isn't converging quickly enough. As you can see, it carries on. It carries on a bit higher, okay? That would actually, if we just took those two lines, our vanishing point would end up being a bit higher. The reason this becomes important is because wherever your eye level is, okay, if your eye level's there, then it just has an impact on this line. So again, that line points down, which suggests the eye level is lower, okay? And what that means is that these lines would converge at a slightly steeper angle. Okay, so they're just things to be aware of, and it's just trying to make sure everything. So there's another. We can see this again here. So this line comes down, which suggests this is above eye level. Okay, that's above our eye level. This is eye level here. Okay, this line, however, here on the building is going up. And that suggests that it's still below our eye level, okay? And that's going to cause a little bit of confusion. So I say look for these diagonals and try to get us feeling, at least with the eye level, if they're above the eye level, they're going to point down, and so like so, and if they're below the eye level, they're going to point up somehow. So just be aware of those. But yeah, very nice, and good to take the subject, good to take the exercise to an outdoor subject. Okay, and now we've got Lindsay, who sent this in, and I thought I particularly liked how she has done the wrapping lines. Okay, so the wrapping lines are these lines here. So this is one of the things, once you've got a sense of the form, okay, your shading can reinforce that form. Okay, and here, so she's done that here. She's used her shading and her hatching to reinforce the form by using a sort of wrapping lines. Okay, so that's good. And she's also, yeah, she's introduced a bit of light and shadow, so I like that. So this is good as well. So these lines that come out round here, they also help to describe this apple as a three-dimensional mass. Okay, so whatever medium you're using, that's going to make it more interesting than just simply drawing a sort of ball shape. So this shows that you've actually understood it as a three-dimensional shape. Okay, remember to practice those the hockey stick thing, just so that the lines actually hook round the ellipse. Okay, so it's good. Yeah, so well done, Lindsay. Very nice ellipses. Okay, so Allison Mackay sent this in, and this is again using construction. I like how she's also used the morning pages sort of format. So we can make a few points here, and again, the main thing is that you're practicing. So just see these as little extras that might help. This ellipse has got a bit pointy, okay? So again, what I would suggest doing is, if I just do it here, is practice that. Practice, so you just practicing with your hand, just doing swirls, okay? The more you do it, the more easily it will come, okay? And then, so if you do that, you're going to probably get, I know at first there's a desire to really get it right, and but often that won't give you the feeling of the ellipse. That sweeping motion, however, can. So I would just practice with that. It's the right size. Okay, so that's quite a deep ellipse. Okay, so that means that we're really looking down on this cup. So this one had to be nice and deep as well. And remember with the hot. So it has to. Once we've got that ellipse at the top, then we know that all the ellipses that come down would echo it and just get progressively a little bit deeper. Okay, so that's just something to be aware of there. This is very good, this line here. Okay, that's talking about, that's like negative spaces, which is like an extension of the matchstick exercise. So looking for these shapes, how does one shape relate to another? That's very good. Also the wrapping lines here. I'm just exaggerating them there. That's good. And managed to get the axis of the lamp, and that ellipse is actually pretty good. Sorry, the other ones are as well, but that one as well. Sometimes those ones on the angle can be a bit challenging. Okay, so that's good, and the teapot looks good as well. The only thing maybe is this ellipse here at the top. This lower one may be just a little bit flat, okay, in relation to this one. Okay, so it might just come around a little bit more. So just to feel that they're in the right perspective. But yeah, that's very good. And also I like these. I know these things have those. Again, those are like wrapping lines, and they help to describe the form. So very nice there, Allison, well done. Okay, and we've got Allison Booth here, has sent in a very nice, this is an excellent drawing. Again, so working with some of these issues. So taking on these ovoids. I think I misspelt that actually in my last video, but there we go, it's all a learning curve. And yeah, we can see these lines here, okay, helping to describe the egg shape. So the wrapping lines, again, it's the shading starts to inform the sense of it being three-dimensional as well. You could even have them sort of around these forms as well. Okay, so yeah, very nice study that. And again, just showing you how so we've got, within this, I know it's, the line is sort of a bit shaky because it's it's not a hard edge thing, but there is perspective implied within it. Okay, so that's why we need to practice perspective, because now that's just my drawing is incorrect there, but that line needs to sit, so they would be diverging there. So that's okay, so there's perspective in that, and then that's going up there, that's coming down there. So you see, all of these things need to be, we just need to practice it, so it helps us when we're doing our construction there. Anyway, thanks for that, Allison. I really like that drawing, and yeah, nice use of tone. And finally, Allison also sent this one in. So, and I thought this was just a really nice drawing. Again, nice to see some heavy sort of charcoal work. And initially, it doesn't seem like there's a great deal of construction, but of course, when you look into it, there are sort of cylinders there. There's perspective there. Okay, so that's our eye is going down there. There's sort of perspective there. There's some books here, or some shelves. Am I seeing that correctly? So that's going up there. There's some perspective on this chair here. Okay, so where's our eye level? So maybe our eye level is there. So that would mean something like that. And there's sort of suggested wrapping lines, okay? That these, it has a sense of form, okay? Even these shapes here, there's a sense of it being three-dimensional, okay? So again, that's a great exercise. It's to take a coat or something and drape it over a chair and practice drawing that. Anyway, I hope some of that's useful. As I say, basically with these exercises, you know, keep going, keep practicing them. Hopefully you might even see a few here that make you want to give them another go over the weekend. And this drawing by Allison hopefully will also inspire you, because say next week we're going to be looking at tone using light and dark and charcoal. If you get a chance to get some charcoal over the weekend, if you haven't already got any, it might come in useful for next week. Anyway, so I hope you find some of that useful, and I'll see you again soon. So thanks a lot. Bye.